Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and today I'm going to talk about Uncut Gems. I think in most propulsive, kind of time-ticking kind of crime movies, you have this intensity to it. It almost feels like there's something like a lump in your chest, like just like there's this intensity, there's this tense feeling going throughout it. And Uncut Gems, I will say, has that. But at certain points, I feel like Adam Sandler's character sort of doesn't care because he thinks he's going to get out of it, but then other times does really care. And then the music of this film, done by Daniel Lopton, has this dreamy, weird quality. It is very straight ahead in what it's doing in terms of like this Jewel District guy that Adam Sandler is playing called Howard Ratner. And you kind of see him making things crazier and crazier through his own insane kind of gambling addiction, through maybe his addiction to just keep things propulsively moving in ways that he feels like maybe succeeds, but you're not even sure if he knows how to do that. He just keeps money coming in and out and not even sure if it makes any sort of sense. There are some crazy financial things he does in this that make you quite scared. Especially a lot of people said like people who are older kind of get more scared by this because they know the stakes of what he's doing, and also how hard it is to be an adult and owe someone money but also pay something off while also making sure everything's okay with your family, while also trying to make sure this relationship works so you can make that money on this other end. This is a very intense, crazy, strange, propulsive kind of crime movie. In other ways, this is like maybe too much of a metaphor of what it's like to be a working class American, and it's an insanely crazy kind of movie that the Safdie brothers present. Now, this sort of, I think in a lot of ways, this is like maybe the more complex movie compared to Good Time, which is the last film of theirs I saw, which also kind of has this sense of like, are they going to get out of this sort of thing? I think that is more direct. In this, they're trying to take on way more. Maybe this is sort of the sophomore effort after like a bigger kind of breakthrough sort of thing, and they want to get a little weirder and stranger with it, and they definitely do that here with the main thing that starts this whole thing. Howard Ratner, who Adam Sandler's playing, obviously has a lot of crazy nonsense going on. He owes people money and everything, but then he has this opportunity of this huge black opal that he gets from Ethiopia, and he's going to make everything right with. But then an NBA player, Kevin Garnett, sees the black opal, looks into it, and thinks it has magic powers. His performance on the basketball court is doing a lot better because he has the black opal. He considers it a great, beautiful kind of like good luck charm, and he kind of gazes into it and sees all these different colors, which they do with amazing photography, which is supposedly like referencing someone who does something like that, who I'm not really aware of. But it looks really cool, and it kind of shows you how beautiful it is to gaze into it. They really much sell that out of, him trying to get money from this person and owing lots of people money and people coming out of the woodworks, coming after him and so forth. All of this is because one basketball player, Kevin Garnett, needs a good luck charm. And that's the craziest. It is very much a kind of normal type of, well, I don't know, normal, but it feels like very much, those kind of propulsive kind of movies. And much like what the Safdie brothers did last time, it's showing scummy, guzzy New York, but in this ways, it's not doing it in a 70s way. It's very much doing it in like, this is professional, like the underbelly of New York. This is what's going on like the Jewel District and stuff like that, but also doing kind of a very much an 80s crime drama thing. What's funny is like, I feel like in this and in Good Time, they don't give up on New York as it is now, but also makes you nostalgic for the New York of yesteryear, which is something I don't really see anyone else doing but the Safdie brothers. Also, what they're able to do with Adam Sandler, I think previously what Paul Thomas Anderson did in Punch Drunk Love with him, kind of using that anger we always see from him, but at the same time, I think the Safdie brothers twist it around and make him not only how angry he can be, but how charismatic Adam Sandler is. As much as a piece of shit and a scummy guy as he is, you kind of want to follow him. You sort of want him to succeed, while at the same time you don't want him to succeed. It's a very weird narrative, because I do feel like in most of these, you're with them, but they're making a bad decision, but you're sort of with them, much like what Pattinson did in the Safdie brothers' last film. But when you look at Uncut Gems, I don't know if I'm fully with him, but I also want him to succeed. It's a really weird, kind of strange relationship with that protagonist, and he definitely plays with his likability as a star, which he definitely has. I mean, that's why people keep seeing those stupid movies, but in this, he's twisting it. He's making you kind of think. It's like the quote that's online, like, this is how I win, that goes everywhere. I mean, I think this is how he wins, but in a way it's like, I don't think he knows how to win. I think he just thinks he's going to work this all out. And in a weird way, like, even though everything's falling apart, they're still playing by his rules. He still gets to sit at home at night with his kids and like watch basketball or something while his wife, who's played by Idina Menzel, I don't know how anyone hasn't brought up that Happy Gilmore and Elsa are in a movie together and married and stuff, but whatever. But he bends things around for like to get these like glimpses of his family, but it's almost like he won't let them come into that world. It feels like he's in control of all of it, like he has a master plan, but I honestly do not think he did, and that makes it so tense. But at the same time, you get this dreamy quality of the music, which makes you think that he's in this dream, that this is actually going to work out. I really did like Uncut Gems. I don't know if I liked it as much as Good Time, and I honestly think it needs another watch. It's kind of a film that I almost feel like there's so much chaos going on with it. It almost feels like that's who Howard really is. He is chaos. He is a wrecking ball, and I hope he doesn't get in your way. The fact that, this film has people like Lakeith Stanfield and Julia Fox, who I'd never seen in a film before, but I thought she was really charismatic and great. I didn't like Idina Menzel. Some people I don't seem to like her very much, but I thought she was actually really good in this. I quite liked her in this film. I don't know if she's like the greatest, and even The Weeknd being in this a little bit, and Lakeith Stanfield, who's kind of like, a fairly sturdy actor to lean on. But this is a different kind of crime movie presenting itself as the kind of crazy kind of heist sort of thing, but it's so much deeper and weirder than that. And I sort of like that about the Safdie brothers. It kind of makes me more intrigued by them than if they just had like, maybe it was just like this guy owes this guy money sort of thing. The fact that like parts of it are this thing and The Weeknd's involved and he has this girlfriend and like his son has this sort of thing, and there's all these interesting details about this whole world he has set up for himself that kind of makes you like fall into it even more and fall into his madness, and you sort of get the madness of Howard going throughout it. They made a very charismatic, intensely interesting, disgusting character. And much like what they did in the last film, but I think they have films before Good Time, but these are the only two I've seen. I just found it such an interesting film. I loved the score. I was listening to it after I left the movies. I loved really everything. I think Uncut Gems was kind of really shows me the promise of the Safdie brothers, and shows also that I think Adam Sandler, like, I don't know why he doesn't do big auteur movies too much, but I wish he did more, because this is just such a good performance. And I don't know if he'll get nominated, and people keep saying that, and we'll see, whatever, doesn't matter, but he still did a great performance in this, and he could really do more crime stuff. I know he turned stuff down, like he was almost in Collateral, the Jamie Foxx role, things like that, and I wish he would, because he works so well in this. And some of the stuff is just like good luck, and some of it is like tremendously bad luck. The insanity of this person, but that kind of a New Yorker, there is a lot of insanity around them, and you're sort of surprised that it's still working out. And I think Adam Sandler's character was able to do that so excellently well. I found this to be one of the better crime films I've seen in a little bit, and one that is more about the chaotic nature of everything going on as much as it is about the kind of predicament that they're in, but that kind of makes it all that more inviting and interesting. And I think the Safdie brothers are good at not only showing you the story of all this yelling and screaming and chaos, but steering you through it in a way that kind of makes you fall into that world and understand sort of the chaos, but also not, because it is chaos, and that makes it all that more crazy and scary and intense. And I just left the theater leaving like almost like, what the fuck was that? I don't think that was the normal kind of crime film, but it also gave me the intensity of it. And it's also crazy that the film almost gives up on being this intense thing while also being this intense thing. It's so many different things. I think you're just scared for him because you know everything that he's doing, and I sort of think he does, but you also think he doesn't, and that makes him scarier, and that makes this film all that more intense. So if you have seen Uncut Gems and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments and subscribe if you would like to.